Simon Peter's relationship with Jesus is somewhat peculiar. There are days when Peter would do anything for Jesus, and there are days when he denies him 3 times. There are days when Jesus calls Peter the greatest of men, and there are moments when he tells him, "Get behind me, Satan," like in the gospel today. It sounds like they've been married for a number of years by now. Up and down, up and down. An emotional roller coaster. Sometimes it's oh and ah. Sometimes get behind me. I don't want to see your face. Actually, when Simon Peter was asked, "Who do you think I am?" I believe he had this eureka moment. He had to pause for a moment and think, okay, people call him different names. Some people call him another John the Baptist, maybe Elijah, another extraordinary prophet. But who he is for me, who he is in my life? And he answers, "You are the one. You are the one." Now think of your spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend. When you thought for the first time, he's the one, or she's the one. It was like a eureka moment in your life. Some people have it on the first date, very few, but I've been told some people do. For others, it takes weeks, months, perhaps years to decide, okay, he's the one, or she is the one. And it's not settling down because I am so used to him, but it is a decision, yep, she's the one. Yes, he is the one with whom I want to spend the rest of my life. So Peter has this moment today in the gospel. He says, "You are not John the Baptist, you are not the prophet, you are the Christ, you are the one." The Christ in Greek means the one chosen by God, and I could add, for you. The one anointed by God for you. Peter decides today in the gospel, he is the one for me. He is the one whom I should follow. And like every human relationship, the one between Simon Peter and Jesus has its ups and downs. Sometimes I think that Peter really wasn't happy when Jesus healed his mother-in-law. That's why he betrayed him 3 times to pay back. But then Jesus probably wasn't very happy when Peter said, "I don't know him." So there is a beautiful story in John's Gospel when Jesus takes Peter aside and asks him 3 times, "Peter, do you love me?" "Sure." "Peter, do you love me?" "Sure." "Peter, do you love me? What do you want now?" It sounds like a typical married couple, doesn't it? What do you want from me, right? Why do you ask me 3 times, "Do I love you?" If you think of this relationship between Peter and Jesus, it's really like any given relationship between 2 people who care for each other. Friends, spouses, any other deep connection between 2 people can be seen in this relationship between Peter and Jesus. First, they invest into this relationship. There is no relationship without investment. You have to invest time, emotions to get to know someone, to get to allow them to know you, to spend time together, to become comfortable with each other. And so you will notice that this passage in Mark's Gospel, and Peter says, "You are the one," happens later in the life of Jesus, after Jesus and Peter have been hanging out for a while. Peter knows Jesus by now. They have spent a lot of time together. What the heck? Jesus healed his mother-in-law. So they have invested into this relationship. And like any other relationship, they had to forgive each other more than once. Now, if you date someone longer than 2 weeks, you will find out that relationship is all about forgiving. Because there is no such creature as a perfect boyfriend or perfect girlfriend. And so, without forgiveness, there is no relationship. Peter had to forgive Jesus. Jesus had to forgive Peter more than once. And finally, besides forgiveness, what these two are doing is they are nurturing the relationship. It's not enough to say, "I love you," and then live as if he or she wasn't around, as if he or she was just another person from the street. A relationship requires constant nourishment. It's not enough to say, "You are the one." Your actions have to follow. Your deeds have to follow your statement of love and friendship and dedication. Imagine your fiancé or husband or wife tells you, "I love you," but then does nothing to prove it. Unless there is a ring on my finger, I don't believe you love me, right? Unless your actions show me that you love me. It's just words. I can forgive you, but until there are deeds that follow your statements, your love, your relationship is just a statement. St. James, in the second reading that aren't so well proclaimed today, says, "Faith, if it has no works, is dead. Faith with no works is kaput." The same with love. Love without works is dead. If your love is limited to saying, "I love you," it's no love at all. Unless there are deeds and actions that follow your statements, your faith or your love is just that, a statement. It's dead. It's non-existent. And when Jesus knelt down in front of Peter and washed his feet, remember that scene at the Last Supper? The perfect image of deeds of love. Sometimes loving someone means humbling yourself, making yourself lower than her, lower than him. And if you ever read the book or saw the movie Quo Vadis in Latin, about the life of Simon Peter, you know that Peter eventually dies on the cross because he loved Jesus to the end. Love and relationship without deeds, without actions, is empty, is dead. So think of your relationships in your life, with your spouse, with your friends, with your church. When was that aha moment? When you thought to yourself, "Yes, she's the one. Yes, he's the one." Or perhaps when you thought about this church, "You know what? this is the church I want to go to. This was this eureka moment. And then there is investing into your relationship. You invest time, you invest your gifts, sometimes you invest money to be with someone, to build a home together. And then you forgive. Because there is no such thing as perfect church, perfect priest. I'm close, I'm not there yet. Perfect husband or perfect wife. And so, in our relationships, we forgive day after day. And we prove by our deeds, by our actions, that what we say, I love you, is true, is alive. Investment, forgiveness, and nourishment. These are the three pillars of the relationship between Simon Peter and Jesus. These are the three pillars of any relationship with your friends, with your spouse, with your church, and with your Jesus. Amen.